What is up, and welcome to Dead with My Friends podcast. As always, I am your co-host, Steve.
And I'm your co-host, Nick.
And this is episode 35, but not only episode 35, it is volume 3 of Ninja November, and we will be talking the Sho Kosugi ninja action flick, Pray for Death.
Dude, I love the commitment of you right now.
Thank you, brother. I figured this is volume 3 of Ninja November. I wanted to commit to the bit. Had Kristen do my eye makeup like Sho Kosugi.
It looks just like Sho Kosugi's eyes.
I appreciate it. I had this Ryu Capcom headband from Street Fighter, and then I had this for the winter, so I just threw it on because it kind of looked like the ninja enemies in Revenge of the Ninja.
Right,
and
the red ninjas.
I just wanted to commit to the bit, and it's Ninja November. I can't think of a better way to get over my post-Halloween blues by talking ninja flicks and watching a shit ton of them.
Yeah, it's been 3 days since Halloween ended. It's November 3rd, and like you said, it's volume 3 of the third year that we're doing Ninja November, and we're talking Sho Kosugi, Pray for Death. The last 2 ninja flicks that we covered were all Sho Kosugi. First one, Revenge of the Ninja, and then Enter the Ninja was last year, and like I said, Pray for Death. Dude, I really liked this movie, man. I mean, I texted you, and I said, this is how I like to see Sho Kosugi, man.
Yeah.
I definitely, I'll expand more on like what exactly I mean about that, but this is just kind of like our little introduction to Ninja November. But before we start talking any ninja stuff, I kind of want to just shoot the shit about October.
Yeah, man.
Why not, right? Just to kind of like recap. How was your October, man? You make the most of it?
We made the most of it. We were very busy between one of my best friend's weddings, and then we had the All Out War Missing Link Crush Your Soul show the Friday after the wedding, and that was an insane show. Alex Casey of Streets of Hate always booking the most crazy hardcore shows in the Hudson Valley. And I got through all of my October Halloween season watches with a few extras in there. And
that's good. You had extras. You had time for extras.
Yeah, we threw a few more Universal classics in there.
Good. Those are like good late night flicks, And I know that you really enjoy like the black and whites.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before bed,
And so does she. And that's exactly it. Is like we would watch some of those extras like on a weeknight before bed, and it just put us right in the mood to like fall asleep.
Yeah. There's something nice about falling asleep to that. I usually do it with like Plan 9 from Outer Space. You saw that when I was up at your house. You woke up and you're like, oh, he's watching Plan 9. Yeah, I love that movie, but it's also like really good to fall asleep to. And Vincent Price House and Haunted Hill, even though there's like a lot of like ghosts screaming in it, even in the beginning, there's just like a lot of ghosts. And I just bought the vinyl for it too.
Nice.
I just bought the vinyl along with the Bride of Frankenstein. So thank you to Kristen for always, keeping me on the up and up when it comes to what Waxwork is dropping. So I picked both of those up, and Night of the Living Dead. That dude, yes, that's a fucking amazing score, man. Really, really, really good score. You gotta pick that up if you haven't. All right. I know she has The Bride, and but believe it or not, the House on Haunted Hill, I don't know if I said House on Haunted Hill or if I said House of Wax when I was talking.
I think you said House on Haunted Hill.
Okay, well, House whatever. Vincent Price has been in a couple of them, but I'm talking about House on Haunted Hill. I have that vinyl now, and
is that also a Waxwork record release?
Yeah, it's a Waxwork record, but it's Rob Zombie Presents, right?
Okay.
Whatever that means. I don't know. Curates it. But dude, it's like the whole movie on vinyl, like audibly.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, very interesting. Because I had seen that was like a complaint from somebody who had bought it previously. But I was like thinking about it, and I was like, well, I like that movie for those reasons. So let me just see like what this is about. And the variant looks amazing. But Yeah, a lot of ghost screaming, I guess, is just like how we got to this. But no, it's cool that you had time to add a little bit extras, because I know that you are very strict when it comes to your list, dude.
Yeah.
And usually we would be recording this episode a month in advance, but we are recording it a week in advance because you told me I cannot watch a ninja flick in October. And
Yeah,
I
it
gotta
just it
respect it,
doesn't
man.
feel
I
right,
gotta
man.
respect it. No, I respect it. It's all right. I think I was very busy all of October, but I think that I really made the most out of it. I didn't watch every single thing that I wanted, and but I watched a lot, and I bounced off of yours quite a bit. So
Yeah, I remember you texting
you
me
had
telling
some
me you're
good,
like, I'm just gonna kind of watch what you're watching, and
yeah.
I'm all for it. You
Cause
know?
I had a lot of stuff that was like still sealed and shit that like I recently bought that's always been on your list. Like for one, the barn. Like I saw the first barn with you, and then the barn 2 had come out, which I had gotten from Scream Team, so I just watched them both one night. Shout out to our boy Jeremy. Had
Hell
a
yeah.
had a great kill
Yup.
in the barn 2. Fucking, it was just so cool to see Jeremy, Epic Film Guys, in there. Jeremy's been a friend of mine for a long time, so really
Most
cool. Yeah, really, really cool to see that, man. He had the best kill in it, in my opinion. So
Yeah, he had a great kill, and it was just really cool seeing one of our friends in that movie. And Joe from Movie Dumpster
oh, Joe
did some.
Lascola.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did some of the visual effects on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and the visual effects looked great. Barn
Yeah.
2 is awesome, man. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a great one. I can't wait for
Yeah.
Barn 3.
Yeah. Great
Yeah,
characters, dude.
absolutely.
Good Halloween flick. I was able to obviously catch fucking Trick or Treat. I watched that day of Halloween, ended Halloween with Halloween 2, as I do every year.
Nice. Yeah, we ended it's our tradition. Definitely mine, but now it has become hers too. Watching the original Halloween 1 and 2 on Halloween night with some pizza. We had some candy. We didn't get any trick-or-treaters, but fuck it, more candy for us and popcorn and shit, and we
Did
just
you
we
prepare
had
for
a good
trick or
night.
treaters?
Yeah, I was prepared cuz we have kids in the complex, but I guess they all went to the center of town where it's popping. So, I mean, it is what it is. We still had a good night.
We got a bunch, man. This street's
Oh,
always
dude,
like fucking
you're in the
packed.
mecca of like suburban fucking Rockland County where it's just like a trick-or-treater's dream.
Yeah, it's awesome. I was able to go to a haunt, thankfully.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was stoked to kind of get that in. I'll be honest though, man.
Was Terror Scream Park the same setup as
Yeah,
the year we went a couple years ago?
yeah, exactly the same. It's like 2 miles of walking, maybe more. I gotta fucking be honest though, man. Dude, people really ruin the experience.
Yeah.
We've said it so many times. Like let's say going to the movie theater, people ruin the experience, or going to an amusement park, people ruin the fucking experience. It's just like, what are you going out for these days? And I hate to sound like a bitter old man, but it's like,
No, dude, I totally get it. It's just like everyone has main character syndrome where they have to
right.
be
Like there was a girl who, dude, every jump scare, she would literally fall to her fucking knees dramatically
ugh.
every time. And it's like, all right, come on now. Like first one was maybe cute, right? For you and your man, whatever. But every single fucking house where there's a jump scare, she dropped to the floor. I thought she passed out, so it was a bit concerning at first. And then if you remember at Pure Terror, there was a blackout room, total pitch black.
Yep.
That's like my favorite / least favorite room in there, because it is scary being in the pitch black. Like
Yeah.
I grabbed a dude who was in front of me just because like I couldn't see him, so like I felt something squishy and I grabbed it, and this guy's like, "Oh shit, dude! Like what the." Like, you get it. But there was another guy who was in there who was behind me who took his fucking phone out and was using his light in the fucking blackout room.
That's not fun.
So it's like, what the fuck are you paying for an experience for if you're not going to immerse yourself in the experience? It's a blackout room. It's supposed to be scary. You're supposed to be disoriented, like it's just ridiculous, man. So Moral of the story is, yes, people do have main character syndrome, and it's fucking annoying. You know, especially when I pay $75 for a ticket, I wait 2 hours in line. The line was insane.
Oh, was it that? Well, you went the weekend
Holy
before
shit,
Halloween.
dude. Yes, it was
So,
insane.
yeah. I can't imagine what Headless Horseman up by us must have been like. Probably was a fucking madhouse.
Yeah, but if you're running a haunted house, dude, like this is the thing that I don't like, okay? First off, they don't pace it well, okay? They think that they do, but they don't. So, you're now I'm just kind of like I don't even know if I really want to get into this. I'm going to see if I could just kind of like sum it up. Fuck. All right. They don't pace the haunted house well. So the screams and the scares are very much ruined because everybody is so close to walking with each other.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
dude, before they start releasing another group in, they have cameras all over this fucking joint. They should at least start bringing in people when the other groups are maybe in like the third house, just to avoid bunching up, okay? Because I'm standing outside and then all of a sudden I hear that there's a scream right around the corner, and then you see the scare actor just standing there because they're like, well, you know that I'm going to scare you, so it's like you're missing all the scares. And for us to be waiting 2 hours, they give you a window. You buy a ticket for the day of, they open at 7, and they're like, we are open from 7 p.m. till 10 p.m., whatever. Come whenever you want. No, don't do it like that.
Yeah.
Break it up, bracket it, whatever. Break it up, you know?
What I gotta say about Headless Horseman is you reserve a time.
Yeah. Pure
Yeah.
Terror does not.
Yeah.
The scariest.
I get your gripes.
Yes. The scariest part, though, man, were like the scare actors who were scaring everybody in line. There was like this dude with like this like one Joker costume, and the face would like come off and go back on, which was really cool. And then there was like a clown with a chainsaw, and I was like, that was fucking awesome, man. So good job to the scare actors who were scaring everybody on the fucking 2.5 hour wait. But it was overall a really nice night out. So I'm very happy that I at least got to do something Halloween-y. Yeah. So yeah, big old fucking tangent from Nick as usual.
All good, brother. Yeah, no, for as busy as it was, like it was still a good October and Halloween season. I just wish it wasn't as warm, because by the time we lit our jack-o'-lanterns on Halloween night, they looked so deflated and like started rotting. But you know.
Yeah, it was
I
crazy.
think next year, though, we should maybe look into doing the Waldorf
We're
estate,
going to. Yeah, no, we definitely
where
will.
Hell House LLC is filmed.
We're going to have to line that up to where we can
also catch a flick at the Mahoning.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll do that. So
we should definitely try for that next year.
Next time we talk, we'll have to like really get on a phone call or something and fucking really plan for that.
Yeah, for sure.
That'd be awesome.
Because we would love that.
Yeah, it'd be very surreal fucking
to be in there.
To be in that house, man. And I wonder if the clown's in there. He's got to be.
He's got to be. They have to, like, the people that run that as a haunt have to know, like, obviously play into the fact that the Hell House LLC series is all there. So
yeah.
There's got to be some props that are like curated for that theme.
Like Hector over by the piano.
Like, exactly.
I gotta say, man, thank you for everybody who listened to our Hell House episode, because I've been hit up like at least 4 times by people who have said that really piqued their interest in seeing the movie, and they went out and watched it on their own. And we had like discussions about it and everything. And you know, the information that we brought to the table in regards to like the director's cut compared to all of that, like, so anybody who checked that out, thank you very much, and thank you for reaching out and talking to me about all of this. It's really cool.
We love that kind of shit.
When we kind of get a little bit of a reach on that, so we don't really feel like we're just on here babbling for an hour. 35 episodes in.
Yeah, for sure. And also, like, thank you to everyone who picked up one of our trick or treat shirt drops. It means the world to us. We were so stoked on that fucking design, and the fact, and you didn't plan this,
no,
but we did the merch drop during the anniversary of the movie, and at the same time, while Synapse Films dropped their 4K UHD box set of Trick or Treat.
Yeah, it was like a whole trick or treat like weekend. And yeah, no, you hit me up and you're like, yo, did you plan this by any chance? And the only reason why I knew that it was even the anniversary was because Joe with Movie Dumpster made a post about it. And I was like, this is perfect timing. And yeah, I think that with it being the anniversary of it, as well as the Synapse, and then as well as us, it definitely helped people draw more people to, checking out our design and everything. But yeah, we've been sitting on that one for a little bit, so I'm very happy that had gotten out. Those designs are great. They're printing now, so by the time this episode drops, we'll more than likely be shipping out by then. But nah, man, it was a great October all around. Definitely made the most of it, and then next year, definitely we're gonna go to the Waldorf State of Fear and see what the fuck is going on over there. But
Hell yeah.
and then last thing is, have we recorded since we went to Heavy HV?
No, we did not.
So that was sick.
Yeah, that was really sick.
That was a really good time.
A lot of
Yeah.
good bands played.
So we've ended
and
over
fucking-
there. Dude, stacked fucking lineup, man.
Yeah,
Stacked
yeah.
lineup. That was a great time. Just wanted to touch on that real quick, because there's been that was in September. I don't know, man. Everything's just all fusing together. But anyways, I think it might be time for us to just start talking about Ninja November. That's enough of the sidebar quest, right?
Yeah, for sure. We are now in November. It is Ninja November, and I've posted my stack on social media. The homie Grindhouse Seller, shout outs to him, because there would be no Ninja November if it wasn't for him. He's been like posting like crazy. He does these crazy video edits every year to promote the event, and I think that's why like also I committed to the bit here, is because like a lot of his posts he'll be like in a ninja get up, and so will other like people participating, and I was like, yeah, I'm all about it, because I grew up on ninja films, especially Sho Kosugi films. And I just love that we dedicate this month now to ninja films.
Yeah, no, same here, man. I was so stoked when you had brought it up. Like, yeah, November we'll just dedicate to ninja films, because unlike you, I'm not the most educated when it comes to ninja flicks. So this kind of like opens up a whole new door of movies for me.
Yeah, and I hope it opens up the doors for other people to check out ninja films who probably don't watch ninja films.
Right. Because for this dynamic between you and I, you're very much well versed into it, and I'm not. So, for these kinds of episodes, I like them because it's like it's a different take and a different reaction and everything. And like really, like what's not to love about ninja flicks? They're gratuitous violence, just amazing fucking choreographed fight scenes, and
Just
from the
it's so cool, man. Like
they're awesome.
The ninja exploitation boom that took off in the fucking early to mid 80s was just like, what a time. Like, the Canon Group especially were the first to really capitalize on it, and it just kept coming. Like, people in the States at that time were fucking loving ninja flicks. So they just kept pumping them out. And then like, you got Godfrey Ho putting out all of his own ninja flicks. It's so sick. Even the Shaw brothers, who mostly like kung fu films, they put out 5 Element Ninjas, and like that movie fucking rules. We were going to originally cover that because you've been interested in it, but I just don't have a physical copy, and it's not available to stream. And so this was the backup choice, but I'm happy that we still stuck with the Sho Kosugi film. And I do love this movie without giving too much away.
Yeah, and I briefly talked about it, or I was going to go on that tangent in the beginning of the episode where, yes, so the last 3 Ninja Novembers have all been Sho Kosugi films. First one, Revenge of the Ninja, Enter the Ninja with Franco Nero, which was really awesome. And then this one, Pray for Death. But like I was saying to you, I really like the way that Sho is in this film compared to Enter the Ninja. I don't like Sho Kosugi as a villain.
Yeah, he's better as a hero.
Yeah, I like him as a hero, and I like him as more of a main character.
Yeah.
Because in Enter the Ninja, Franco Nero was the main character, and he was the white ninja, and he was the hero, and Sho was like the assassin, and he was the prick. He was like,
Yeah.
the henchman of the main villain in that film. And I love Sho, man, and I like what he represents, as a character and as a person that does actually practice the martial arts. And I feel like I don't like an evil side to him. I don't like evil Sho, man. I don't.
Yeah. No, he's always better as a hero. And like the reason why he was the villain is because like that was like his first major acting role. Before he was just really doing stuntman work. And even when he went on as Enter the Ninja, he was just a stuntman. And then they really liked his moves and were like, hey, do you want to like actually try out for like our main bad guy? Even though like Christopher George is the mastermind character in that movie, but like we know like Sho is truly like the enemy, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean it's good either way. But yeah, this was a really good take on Sho Kosugi. It's really like your run of the mill 80s action flick storyline with
Yeah,
the
like a
ninja
crime
elements.
revenge thriller, but
Right.
you add
80s revenge crime flick, yeah.
the ninja element to it, which is like that extra bonus.
Yeah. Yeah, because otherwise it could just be a revenge flick, But when you add the ninja stuff, you're adding much more of a higher esque assassin and revengeability. I just made all of that up, but what's better than a ninja taking revenge, man? They're
Nothing
like,
better.
right?
Nothing better. That is why
Like
Revenge
there's
of the
revenge.
Ninja,
There's
yeah.
revenge, but
And
then
then there's a ninja's
ninja
revenge.
Yeah.
And that is why Revenge of the Ninja is in my top 10 favorite films of all time.
Yeah. That's been my favorite one. And like we talked
Yeah.
earlier on of just like how much Braden was such a
The
great
ultimate
fucking
bad
villain.
guy.
Yeah, he was the
Yeah.
ultimate villain for sure.
Yeah.
But I will say though that Mr. Limehouse in this
motherfucker.
he
man.
he was a really good fucking villain too. I really liked him.
Yes.
I
yes.
really did enjoy this movie all throughout. I thought it was a very good movie. And I mean, dude, we got Kane Kosugi and his brother Shane in it as well. So both of the Kosugi brothers.
Yeah.
So,
and Kane's a little bit older now in this one, where because like
he's still ripping.
Revenge came out in 82, and this came out in 85. So he's even a better martial artist at this point. And yeah, you get to see all that displayed in this movie. And like again, Kane would go on to do many ninja films as he grew up, just like his father,
Back to Mr. Limehouse, man. I thought that he was a really good villain. He's played by James Booth. James Booth was actually the writer of this film, so he wrote himself to be a great fucking villain, a real piece of shit. So, I think this movie was directed by, who did we say it was? Gordon Hessler, I believe.
Let me check here. I have my copy right here. Yep, directed by Gordon Hessler.
Okay. I'm not too familiar with a lot of his work. I did some research, and I mean, none of it I have seen, as well as James Booth. Nothing really. He's just, like a real old school actor. You've probably seen him on episodes of Bonanza. He wrote like 2 other ninja flicks in like the late 80s, early 90s. But other than that, yeah. The main player in this, the key is Sho Kosugi.
Yeah.
So, but let me see that cover real quick of your Pray for Death.
Oh my god. Okay, so I have the Arrow video release right here.
It's
How's
a
it
United.
looking?
It's a fuck. I was gonna say it's a New York City skyline.
Yeah, so you could see like the Twin Towers
Yeah.
and almost like the Empire State Building, which is funny because this is filmed in Houston and supposed to take place in Houston. But I think because like RoboCop also filmed in Houston because of all of the futuristic architect of the skyscrapers there. That's why they filmed RoboCop there, to take place in like future Detroit. Whereas like, yeah, it's just, I think it was a marketing thing. It's like, it'd be cool over the New York skyline. And I love it because like Sho literally looks like the Shredder over this full moon.
And it's
And,
also it's also like a very similar style and pose to the Revenge of the Ninja artwork
yeah.
in a sense.
And I think at this
Maybe
time too, real quick, I think 84 is when the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics dropped. So who's to say during the marketing, like, yo, what if we like, he kind of already looks like the Shredder, put him over the New York skyline.
There's a lot of parallels I'm seeing now, huh?
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, maybe they were gonna put it in New York, because like one of the big things in this film was, Sho his two sons and his wife relocate from Japan to the United States, to start their own business, and they end up moving into a real rough neighborhood that is said to be a good business approach and investment to them, because it's going to be, as they say, gentrified maybe, and whatever. So I don't know, man. You can really put that anywhere in the United States. So, but I thought it was California where they were. Are you sure it's Houston where it is supposed to be?
I'm pretty sure that they acknowledge that it's Houston, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. Either way, I thought that it was California. It doesn't matter really. It's some kind of city. We don't really get too much like exteriors of the city or anything. Like
no,
we're
not
like,
really.
We're like pretty much in that neighborhood majority of the time, as well as like a shipyard where the dock
down by
rat,
the harbor. Yep.
Limehouse fucking stays.
So what do you think, brother? You ready to get into me reading the back of this this box here? This cover?
Yeah,
all right.
Absolutely.
So we'll do that, and then we'll cue the trailer, and let's get right into it.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right. So, reading the back of the cover here on my Arrow video release, or better yet, reading from this great scroll.
From my ninja scroll.
From my ninja scroll here. All right. In Prey for Death, martial arts legend Sho Kosugi of Enter the Ninja, Ninja 3 The Domination, stars as a family man driven to exact vigilante justice, ninja style. Akira Kosugi has brought his wife and 2 boys to the United States in search of a better life. But their slice of the American dream is quickly soured when they fall foul to a group of jewelry thieves. Unfortunately for the bad guys, they didn't count on Akira being a secret black ninja. The samurai sword of vengeance falls swift and hard in this classic slice of 80s ninja action from director Gordon Hessler of Scream and Scream Again, The Golden Voyage of Sinbad, culminating in an action-packed showdown of Commando-esque proportions.
No ordinary man could do it alone. But this is no ordinary man. Pray for death.
It's gone far enough.
We are all free to do what we like. I am free to kill those animals.
Sho Kosugi. Shadow Warrior. Death Master. Ninja, judge, and jury. Vengeance will be his. Pray for death.
Please, kill me!
Cool. Yeah, that's actually a very good write-up.
Yeah.
Very good write-up from Arrow Video.
Forged in the ancient scroll.
Forged in the ancient scroll. To be put away for safekeeping again until need be.
Yes.
So yeah, this film opens up with an incredible fight sequence with the Black Ninja Sho Kosugi. Now, let me ask you, dude, was that filmed just for this movie, or is that from another Sho Kosugi film?
No, I believe it's filmed just for this movie, and they actually filmed that in Arizona of all places. They had a lot of like, I guess, foresty area that had a lot of like greens that emulated like Japan's forest.
Could have fooled me.
Yeah, yeah, it looks legit, right? And it's cool too because it kind of is like the opening of Revenge of the Ninja when the Red Ninja Clan, ambushes Sho at his house with his family.
As well as just even Enter the Ninja as well, when it was like kind of like that the ninja test that's going on with
Yep.
Franco Nero when he's like taking on all those ninjas until he gets to like the main ninja temple where he has to take on the headmaster and all this. So seeing kind of like that being a bit of a ninja trope in the films. But as it turns out though, like through all this fight sequence, like I thought that it was going to turn out to be something different. So we probably have like a good 5-10 minutes or so, would you say?
A good 5 minutes of some ninja action,
Yeah.
ninja stars flying, Sho slicing and dicing, decimating motherfuckers. And then, you see Sho and the head ninja fighting and Sho defeats him. And then it turns out it's these two kids watching this ninja show. And this is Sho's sons, Shane and Kane Kosugi, which I forgot their names in the movie. So we're just going to refer to them as Shane and Kane. So the mom tells them to stop watching the ninja program and come to dinner. And that's when Sho enters and, they're sitting down for family dinner and the boys are going on about how they're like, they want to be ninjas and they were watching the Black Ninja. And Sho's just kind of like, oh, that's ridiculous. And then turns out he's got to bring them to karate class tonight.
Well, he's also in a business suit, and I guess he kind of works in the corporate world, and you can tell that he's very, respected by his wife as well as his children, and the two kids actually make a mention that the Black Ninja looks like Dad.
Yes, yes.
So my thought where this film was going, it doesn't end up turning out this way. That he was like a ninja actor, but he doesn't like let his children know that he's an actor or something like that. That he's kind of like just like putting on this persona at home, and then at night he's a famous ninja star or something like that.
Yeah.
So
that would have been an interesting take, for sure.
Yeah, dude. And then there's like it got my gears going for like a ninja film, and in this movie, Sho speaks about shadows and things like that, and not living in your shadows anymore. And I thought about cool title for a movie,
unique ninja movie
I
title.
was like, ooh, that could be like a really cool.
Yeah. I kind of feel though that title's already taken.
I looked it up. It's not.
It's not?
No.
Wow.
So it's my
Someone
movie.
dropped the ball. It is your movie. Copyright that shit.
Yeah. Copyright.
And speaking of shadows,
Yes.
we also open before we get into like the ninja program of Sho Kosugi demonstrating his ninja skills over this song that has been stuck in both Kristen and I's head all weekend, and that is Back to the Shadow. Yep, Back to the Shadow.
Which makes sense though, and is a good lyric for the whole theme, I feel, of the movie, going back to the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Because at a point in time in the film, not to get too far ahead, Sho Kosugi and his family, decide that they're going to go to America, and through a conversation, Sho says, I don't want to go back to my shadows or something like that, or just, getting rid of the past and getting rid of the pain of the past and things like that is kind of like what that means, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it means.
Yeah.
And great song choice. I like the chorus. I
Yeah.
like the instrumentals, but when the verse kicks in, I'm like,
It's
all right,
very
please stop.
80s.
Stop, please. But what I love is in the menu screen of this too, it has like that theme.
Yeah, no, I didn't have to deal with that. I watched this on Tubi.
Yeah. But
So
yeah,
it plays it twice too. It plays it in the beginning and it plays it in
when
like
he's
in
gearing
the
up.
third act when
Yeah,
he's like
yeah.
gearing up and he's coming, going
He's
back
going
into
back to the shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so yeah, Sho, getting back to the plot, Sho is taking Shane and Kane to their karate class, and there's like an older karate student, they're like doing demonstrations and like sparring, and little Shane, who's the younger brother, is like steps up and gets his ass handed to him. But then Kane steps up and he fucking totally just mops the floor with this older kid who's a black belt. And keep in mind, Kane is just a red belt. And they go on after getting back how they want to grow up to be ninjas, or at least Shane reveals that Kane and Shane want to grow up to be ninjas, but then like Kane's like, shh, like don't speak about it. And like, Sho's just like, why? Like that stuff is ridiculous.
Yeah. He makes a mention, or they bring it up around Sho because they're all sitting around eating dinner, and Sho is kind of like ninjas aren't real or anything like that, or his brother, something or other. But like Shane says, like, no, Dad, like I've seen a ninja, right? He's like, yeah, sure, son. Like whatever you say. He's like, yeah, you see, I told you, I've seen ninjas before. So there's always the lore of the ninja, man. They're super secretive, so that's what it is.
Yeah, and we get this shot of Sho in bed with his wife Aiko. And she's like, what's on your mind? He's like, well, I received a promotion. And
good job. That's amazing news. In 3 years' time.
In 3 years' time.
Yeah. Sad.
And it turns out Aiko, she's half American. Her father was a major or someone from America. And she had mentioned about wanting to go back to America. So pretty much she wants to move them out there, and they make a deal with this guy, Sam Greenhouse, I think his name is.
Sam Green.
I don't know why I said Greenhouse. Sam Green.
You see, the thing about that, which is kind of interesting, is when they're in bed talking about it, he speaks about the promotion, and then she talks about, relocating and everything. And,
he should start his own business.
Yeah, he asked her, like, how would you feel about me starting my own business? And she says, like, I think that would be a great success, whatnot. And they want to open up a restaurant. So I guess maybe some time passes in between that, but it seems like it's pretty quick.
Happens quick. Yeah.
But I think at that point, some time passes by because there's a letter that comes in the mail from the United States because the boys run in with a letter saying that their offer was accepted from Mr. Sam Green in order to buy his property. So this is great news now because they now have a reason to move and relocate to the United States.
Yeah.
For, a huge change in their life now.
And before they move, he says, I have to go somewhere. And she's like, okay, well, I'll start packing. And that's when we see Sho in this like, a kimono like get up. And he's in some like ancient shrine, and he's looking at the statue and candles, and we get a flashback of this red masked ninja who is stealing jewels out of some box and a sword.
Hey,
and
put them back.
Yeah,
and
who
leave.
Are you? Yeah.
Who are you?
Put it back. Yeah,
and leave.
So Sho catches the thief, and the thief's like, nah, fuck that, and draws the snake sword, or the special sword. And then them two have a duel, and they're going at it. And there's also like this, what you'd believe is like the sensei of the shrine, who's watching off as they're battling. And it is revealed that this is Akira's brother, Shoji. He's stealing the sacred, jewels or not jewels, like the gold and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you're right though, because when he opens up, the box and everything, there's gold and jewels and shit like that. So he like what kind of like starts this whole fight between them is when the approach happens. the masked red ninja, Sho's brother, stabs him in the leg, right? And then they start fighting after that. There's a really good battle with the swords and everything. And then ultimately, what ends up happening is one of the katanas ends up like slicing through one of the poles in the shrine, and Sho at one point throws the body, right? Am I correct?
Yeah. So Shoji
into the
slips on the sword holster,
There
and
it is.
Sho moves out of the way just in time where Shoji goes into it and kills himself essentially.
Yeah.
And Akira is holding him. And
then he
he's
takes
just
the mask off, and then and then he's like very
reveal
shocked
it.
that it's his brother.
Yeah, and it's funny too because Shoji's like, "You think this is over?"
Yeah,
as
what
he
does that
does.
what does that mean exactly?
Meaning, I think what it means is like, just because I'm dead doesn't mean like your past won't catch up with you. You know,
Deep. Everything's
Yeah,
just
very
very everything's
Very
just
deep.
you got to kind of think about these things because it's
Yeah.
not what it seems on the surface per se. I wanted to say though, real quick, the mask that he was wearing. Do you remember back in the day that fucking guy? He was a magician and he would go around and he would like reveal
the secrets.
all
Oh
the
my god,
secrets
yes.
of the magic.
Yes.
Doesn't
yes.
that mask look like it?
Absolutely. That is
So-
a certain style of Japanese mask that's used in
Okay.
like theater and stuff.
Okay.
I just can't remember the name of it.
So
but
that-
yes,
that makes sense,
absolutely.
too. He looks
Yep,
a lot
I know
like him.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So yeah. When
those are the same style masks too that are also kind of used in the Three Ninja series.
okay.
When Rocky, Colt, and Tom Tom they put on their masks, it's similar to those.
Yeah, they look cool.
Yeah.
They definitely look cool. I also really did enjoy that show when that guy was like revealing all the magic tricks.
Yeah,
but looking
yeah,
back
for
on
sure.
it now, I'm
Yeah,
just like,
yeah.
yo, that guy sucked, and that guy sucked, dude. Like he pissed a lot of people off for sure.
Yeah. Can't reveal the secrets.
Yeah, pulling back the curtain.
So yeah, then we flash back to we're now back to the present, and we see the master of this temple, and he unsheaths his sword, and him and Akira have a duel. Now, they're going at it. At one point, you think like Akira bests the master, but the master, there's a reason why he's the ninja master. And he gets the upper hand on Akira. And just as he uses Akira's spear against him, he like holds it to him, thinking like, all right, that's it. You won. But he said, you have to let go of the past. You know, this is why you lost, because you're holding on to the past and the guilt of the death of your brother Shoji, because, you know, Akira and Shoji, they were orphans, and that ninja master took them in as sons of his own and raised them and trained them.
And he refers to him as father too.
Yeah. And after this, that is when Akira reveals to his father that he is looking to go to America to start a new life with his wife and kids. And his father / master gives him his blessing, but wants to give him that snake sword katana that Shoji was using and tried to steal. And that's where Akira is like, no, I want to leave all the ninja lifestyle in the past. And then, you know, his father's like, you can't escape your past, my son. Like, you know, essentially it comes down to once a ninja, always a ninja.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it makes sense, man. I mean, you go
So
through all
then-
this, like, you know,
Yeah.
it's a life. It's a lifestyle. You
it's a
can't
life.
leave it.
Exactly. And, you know, his father was like, well, if you won't take the katana, please take this helmet. And remember that you may never reveal our sect, that we are sworn to secrecy, which, of course, like Akira promises. And then we get the flight scene of them arriving to America, and they show up in a really bad neighborhood. And at one point, Akira and his family, they bump into some street thugs, and it's like it's a culture shock for them.
Sure.
And the guy's like, yo, what's your deal? And then we get to see inside Akira's mind of him, like, you know, revealing like, yeah, he's a ninja and he could fucking decimate this guy, but he just bows and says sorry.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
It shows the control as well.
You know, he's trying to leave that all in the past. And he meets with Sam Green. But before that, the night before, we see two gentlemen show up to Sam Green's house, and they have an entrance like padlocked, and they go in and they put this bag in this hidden piece of wood, but then the guy goes back to it and takes it and locks the place back up.
Yeah, and we see that it's a necklace.
Yes, it's this necklace called the Vanetta necklace, which I guess she was a producer. That's where the name comes from. And so you're like, oh boy, someone's going to be looking for that necklace.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, here's this nice innocent family who's starting a new life here, and they about to get caught in the crossfire. So Sam's showing them the place, and he's like, I know it doesn't look like much, but it's a good investment. This neighborhood's going to be booming with people from the city. So there's one point too where there's like a back room where the kids want to see, but it's locked up and he doesn't know where the key is. And Sho just uses a little bit of his ninja skill to just pop the door right open.
Yeah, he really impresses everybody with that move. He's because Sam says he hasn't opened up that room in a long time because his wife, Minnie, I think.
Yeah, Minnie, something like that.
Used to use it as a storefront for a cigar shop, but it's been, boarded up for a while. So, Kane wants to go check it out, and he's like, yeah, let's go check it out. So they go in, and then, he stumbles on like this old music box that his wife loved a lot. And then all these feelings, come rushing back to him and everything. And pretty sad moment of a grieving old man,
And that's it. And that's why he wants to move, because this place holds so many memories. And, he also mentions he's got a sister in like Atlantic City who, she's widowed, and they're looking to just keep each other company in their older age these days. And
probably the right move.
Yeah. And there's also a warehouse that Sam Green owns. And so he goes to show Akira and his sons it, because, they're acting all antsy. So Aiko's like, all right, take the kids with you. And that's when our main bad guy, Mr. Limehouse, and one of his henchmen show up to retrieve the jewels where they were supposed to be left. So they go in, and Limehouse sees that shit's been fucked.
Oh yeah, he also sees that the padlock that they had placed on the outside of the door, because this place hasn't been accessed in a while, so they figured it'd probably be good for like, pickups and drop-offs and things like that. So they had their own lock on it. So when Sho and Sam were looking through, they were trying to go out the front, and then they noticed that there's a padlock on the outside of the door that was not placed there. Anyways, and then you see that, this is what is going on there. So he ends up kicking the door in, and then Limehouse goes to look and sees like on the floor that where the jewels were supposed to be, the floorboard is like taken up and nothing's there. And, he calls his boss and tells him that there's a problem. So we have the usual, higher up boss who's, living the lavish life and in the mansion, smoking the cigars, drinking the whiskey.
And immediately Limehouse suspects that it's one of the cops that big boss has on the payroll.
Yeah, initially he does. And then the big boss, doesn't really want to jump to conclusions that fast. But then Sam and Sho and the kids end up pulling up, and all of Sam's shit, all his stuff, or all his belongings are on the car, the station wagon. So Mr. Limehouse looks over to his boys and starts thinking that he's the one that stole them, and now he's going to hightail it with the Vanetta necklace, cash it in, and live large.
Yeah.
So
after
but it sucks because that's not what happened.
Yeah, no, it's totally, these people are just caught in the crossfire,
right,
of someone fucking over a deal. And
wrong place,
wrong
time.
Yep.
As Iggy Pop says.
Yeah.
City of Angels.
Hell yeah. Great sequel.
Yeah.
Underrated.
Sorry, sport.
Yeah. You think I'm afraid?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, don't get us started, because when we start quoting quotes from The Crow or City of Angels, it don't stop. All right. But yeah, so Sam Green says goodbye and wishes them luck, and Limehouse trails Sam Green, where he he gets them cornered to like some abandoned like building area. And Limehouse pulls him and his henchman pulls Sam Green out, and they're like, "All right, where's the necklace?" And Sam has no idea. He's like, "What necklace? I don't know." And he's like, "Yeah, you think you're just gonna skip town?" He's like, "Why? Where are you leaving to?" He's like, "Oh, I just sold my business." And Limehouse is like, "Oh, how convenient."
Right.
So Limehouse has his henchmen tie Sam to the hood of his car, where they stretching him out over a rope, and Limehouse picks up a crowbar and he's like, "You're gonna tell me where it is." And he gives like a warning smash like right in front of him, and he's, Sam Green's like, I don't know," because they beat the shit out of him before tying him up. And fucking Limehouse just lays into him. He's like, "Liar, liar," and he beats poor old Sam Green to death, to the point where even his henchmen are like, "All right, he's dead, and they beat this man. Limehouse does. This is where you're like, okay, this guy's fucking unhinged.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
then
then
and to make it even worse, they fucking, he's like on the brink of death. I don't even think that he's like fully dead. And then Limehouse pours gasoline all over him in the car, and then lights
he's
the
like,
car
"Let's
on
give the
fire.
fucker a Viking funeral," and they
Yeah,
fucking light him up.
yeah. He's got some good lines in this.
Oh yes, so good. Which makes sense since he's like the writer.
Yeah, he gives himself the best lines.
Oh yeah,
Gives himself the part of the villain. Hey, I mean, but at least he did it well, you know?
Yeah,
At least he knew he could play the part.
Oh, absolutely. He played the part so well. And so he lights up Sam Green in his car, and we get a gratuitous car explosion. And so pretty much now we've got Akira and his family just, trying to get the place cleaned up, open up shop.
Yeah, I think they even make like their first sale at their restaurant, and there's like some shots of them hanging signs and everything like that. And I think there comes a point in time where Limehouse decides that he doesn't even really think that Sam knew where the jewels were for real.
Limehouse, while he suspects the cops and sees that Sam Green doesn't have it, he still thinks the necklace is hidden somewhere in there. So he decides, because Aiko sends the boys out to get something from the store. So they take their bikes on over. And while they're there, there is some older kids who are picking on Shane and trying to steal his bike. Kane comes out and is like, "Fuck no. Y'all are not touching our bikes."
Yeah, you're not fucking with my brother.
Yeah, you ain't fucking with my brother. You ain't fucking with our bikes.
Good
and
big
it's
brother,
kind of
man.
like, yeah, and it's a callback to when we get to see Kane's fighting skills in Revenge of the Ninjas. The same kind of kids over a bike too. Well, no. Well, he kicked someone off the bike, but still. So these kids try to gang up on Kane, and he displays his martial arts skills, and he's kicking the shit out of all of them.
Yeah, these kids must come from like these fucking kid actors might come from like a kung fu school or something in the area, because the fight sequence is actually like really good.
Yeah,
even for kids.
Yeah,
it's
great.
Like, dude, Kane, very good fight skills, man.
Oh,
very very polished from Revenge of the Ninja.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, he studied with his dad, and it was, I'd watch an interview with Sho saying, we'd never really had a father-son dynamic where both are like good at martial arts. So that was like a very big thing moving forward, especially after Revenge of the Ninja. Like you would see, especially like Kane pop up in a lot of other movies with Sho.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. And I'm sure if things were different between, Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee, could you imagine that, man? It's the parallel.
What could have been,
parallels
man?
Are
What could have
happen.
been?
Yeah.
What could have been?
I always think about what could have been with fucking Brandon Lee, bro, about just like how amazing his career would have been, I always think about like real quick, like, the tragedy of him, how like, your last movie is like amazing, like boom, you fucking would have been at the top. So when I think about Brandon Lee, I often think about Heath Ledger as well, because his role in the Joker, like, dude, he won a Best Supporting Role Oscar, in Death, because of how amazing he was in that role. So it's just like crazy, like where, careers could be if they weren't cut so short. But as far as like the father-son dynamic, man, like having just having your father being as skilled as he is and then learning from him, there's just something so much more to that, like you even saw it with certain things that Brandon Lee did in his, career with his fight sequences and stuff like that. Like you can tell that like he was on a different level than, other people who had practiced, because he had that one-on-one with his father, so
Absolutely.
but you could see it in with Kane, man, and you even saw it in Revenge of the Ninja when he was even just so young. So great scene. But moving forward with that, watching from the side is Shane, and he's cheering his brother on, beating up all these fucking kids, and then Mr. Limehouse walks behind him, and he's like, hey, like what's going on, kid? And then he picks up Shane, runs over to the car. His boy picks him up, throws him in. And then Kane sees this, stops what he's doing, runs over to the car. And then Mr. Limehouse fucking beats this kid with the door.
And busts his nose wide
open. And Kane drops to the floor, and he drives away with Shane in the car. And then we cut to does Kane comes home first, bloodied up, and then tells his mom and dad what had happened, and then they get a phone call from Mr. Limehouse, right?
Yeah, who's saying, I want the necklace. I've got your kid here at ransom, and show up by midnight, not a minute later, otherwise the kid gets in. He's like,
he says something better though. He's like call the cops or whatever, and he's like he's gonna be singing Sopranos with the fish or some shit.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty funny.
Great.
But yeah, Sho doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know about any necklace. Like, I just want my son. So he's got no choice. They're like, Ayaka's like, we should call the police, and he's like, no, let me go see. Like the it's not gonna work out that way. Let me go. So shows up to like, I guess the boatyard,
the shipyard.
The shipyard. And he comes, and they give him the full pat down, and Limehouse is like asking, where's the necklace? And he's like, I do not know, but I think I could describe the man, because before Akira goes over there, he goes into that room where the necklace was stolen, and he sees a piece of fabric caught on a nail, which happened in the beginning of the movie with the cop. He got his coat, or his dress coat, caught on a nail, and it tore. So Akira is just like, I don't know who it is, but I could kind of describe. He wears a gray suit, and he's left-handed. And Limehouse is like, look, get a load of this shit. This guy thinks he's funny. So they tie up Akira, and he's like, I'll get you to fucking talk. And he like opens up his shirt and takes out the butterfly knife and runs it across Akira's stomach, and Akira does not flinch. He looks him dead in the face and says, I do not know where your necklace is.
And he hits him with the 2x4 prior to that.
Yeah.
And he doesn't flinch at all either.
Doesn't flinch at all.
And then this is when Limehouse is like, oh, I'm going to have fun with you. So, I mean, this guy has some ninja training. He's been through some fucking pain, man,
Yeah. And then Limehouse takes out the blowtorch, and he's like, I'm going to fucking torch your son like a Roman candle if you don't talk. And it's so fucking sadistic, because he's going to do it.
He doesn't care.
So he's holding it. He's getting a rise out of seeing this kid like freaking out. And that's where Akira, like, as he's like hanging like this, fucking kicks the light, and it goes dark, and he like gets himself free, grabs his son, and runs out there, and they're like firing shots, but he gets away. Then that's where Akira goes to the police and explains, like, my family's being harassed, my son was kidnapped, these guys want this they're looking for this Veneta necklace, and he points out who it is. And the main like lieutenant or detective, who is also in Bloodsport, by the way, as one of like the military like guys who's chasing Frank Dukes, him and Forrest Whitaker. Yeah, it's the old man. So yeah, it was cool seeing him in this. So he's like, well, I'd love to bring this guy in if I can get you to like give a statement, this, that, and the other, and go to trial. And, you know, Akira doesn't really want any part. He just wants his family protected. And he's like, sorry, laws are laws, and I can't really do anything.
Yeah, you can't offer him protection, really.
If you want protection, hire a private detective.
Yeah.
Yeah, which you're like, man, coming to America and like, you know, you're just trying to start fresh and got all this shit going on.
Yeah. So he points out Limehouse in like a police lineup photo. And, you know, this is like kind of like not surprising, but like the main lieutenant says that like this is like, oh, that's Limehouse, our old friend. Like he's the most dangerous man in the state. He's like, would you look at that? And then 2 police officers come in, and wouldn't you know that these are the 2 police officers who are working with Limehouse and the main boss. I don't know if we ever figure out the main boss's name. It's probably in like the IMDb, but
yeah, we're just gonna call him Big Boss, kind of like
Boss.
in reference to Bruce Lee, the Big Boss.
Right. So yeah, we see these 2 cops, and the lieutenant hands the one dude the paper, and Sho notices that he grabs it with his left hand, and he also notices that he's wearing a gray suit. So he looks up at him and he's like, "Excuse me, are you left-handed by any chance?" And he says, "Yeah, I am." Was that a problem? Sho's like, "Oh no." So he's just he's just taking mental notes now, and from there,
the cops call, or the one cop calls the Big Boss and is like, look, I've got this guy down here going on about his family being harassed and this missing Veneta necklace, and this shit needs to be taken care of because he knows a lot and he's saying a lot. And that's when the Big Boss has a discussion with Limehouse, who's there, and is like, this needs to be taken care of. And Limehouse says, I don't think he's got it because I brought his kid into it and no one fucks around when it comes to their kid. And he's like, well, he's like, I really think it's that cop that you have on the payroll. And the Big Bosses are like, well, regardless, this guy now knows too much, so he needs to be handled.
Right, you need to take care of him. He needs to be killed.
And that's when Limehouse steps up his game, because he's like, all right, I'm gonna deal with this cop because he suspects him, but yeah, I've got to take care of this whole fucking family now.
And then this is when they get those 2 dudes to stake out outside the restaurant, slash their house.
Yep. They get 2 dudes to stake out the restaurant. Akira's running somewhere. He's doing something, and it's just Aiko and her boys, and they're playing like soccer in the house, and the ball gets knocked loose.
Yeah.
And it goes outside.
They also have strict orders from the father and the mother to not leave the house as well.
Well, guess what? They go and leave the house. You know, fucking Shane goes out there to retrieve the ball, and Aiko chases after him, and that's when these 2 dudes that are watching the house run the both of them down. And then they pull up to like one of the henchmen, and he's like, all right, now get in this truck and go see what's going on. Now at this time, Akira shows up at the same time as well. He sees all this commotion. He realizes it's Shane and his wife, and he's, you know, calling for the ambulance, telling people to call 911. They're all crowded around. And then that's when the 2 dudes who were staking out the house pull up in their truck, and Akira realizes, like, he sees them creeping by.
And they're like smirking too.
Yeah. So he tells the ambulance driver that he will meet them there.
Hops in his car.
Chases them down to the point where he gets there close enough to jump on the back of the tailgate of the truck and kick through.
Yeah, they like spin out or some shit, and then they can't get the truck started. And then, like you said, it gives him enough time to be able to run up on them. And then as they're driving away, he jumps into the bed of the truck and kicks the window in, pulls the one dude out. They're fighting in the bed. He like throws him off, and then they both jump off the truck. And then I guess the one guy driving is like super distracted, and then he crashes into a car. And then we have
another car explosion.
Yeah.
Gotta love those pyrotechnics.
Yeah. I love them. You throw a lot of the budget at it.
Hell yeah.
We talked a lot of. We talked a lot about it with Action USA. Man.
Exactly where
You
I
know?
was going, brother. Exactly where I was going, you know.
Yeah, I love it.
So we now have this kid, Shane, on the breathing machine. Kane is like, you know, he feels remorseful. He feels like it's his fault. Aiko, she's all banged up, but she's going to be okay. And Akira, you know, he visits his wife and he tells her, like, don't worry about this. Everything's going to be okay. I'm here. He then goes to the shipyard.
Yeah. Limehouse is having a party.
He's having a big old extravaganza.
Big
He's
old
celebrating.
bash. Yeah, what exactly is he celebrating? There's nothing to
He's
celebrate.
just having a party.
He's just having a party.
He's just having a party.
Yeah, I didn't see like what
He's
the
just
reason
living it.
was.
Yeah, he's got 2 women by him. There's a belly dancer. He's sipping on some good liquor. He's got his cigars. And we got Akira dressed in a black leather jacket, gloves, like he's all stealth. He gets on this rope spool because there's like guards, you know, there's henchmen guards with guns guarding the ship. And it's great because he like latches on to the center of it so it rolls towards them. These 2 henchmen are like, what the fuck? And he gets the jump on them and ambushes them. So then it plays like almost like a video game.
Right. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Where he's just taking out all these henchmen left and right, and word gets to Limehouse. Like one of his guys is like, hey, this is going on. So he calls his one henchman, Vinny, I think his name, with the earring. And he's like, go take care of this. Fucking shit's, yo, Akira is...
He's just getting the best of everybody. He can't, they
decimating motherfucker. He's either knocking them out or he's killing them.
Yeah, they can't get a hold of him, and then he ends up like cutting the power, and then through like in the darkness.
Wait, before that though, this is great. Before Akira cuts the power, Limehouse he wants to see what's going on too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
he peeps by like the window hole, you know, those like circular ship holes or whatever, and he sees Akira doing like flips onto the next level, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, who the fuck is this guy? And that's when the power gets cut.
Right.
And right behind him, Akira is holding a blade to his throat. And he says, like, leave the Saito family. They know nothing about the Veneta necklace. If you don't stop, I'll make sure you pray for death. Yes, we get the title drop. And this shakes Limehouse. Dude,
yeah,
it's so good.
Because
it is so good.
He can't, you know, after that, Sho, you know, disappears into the shadows, and then the lights come back on, all this shit. And Limehouse, he can't get over the fact that this man took his back. You know, he's like he was behind me. He took my back. You know, like,
oh, this gets Limehouse so fucking.
He couldn't get over the fact that he was in a vulnerable position where at that time he did not have the upper hand at all. You know, he could have been killed. And I kind of think that Sho should have maybe just given him a little cut on his face or like on his neck just to give him a fucking
like a
warning.
mock. He did a mock one where it's like it wasn't really a blade, like, or it wasn't really a cut, but he kind of held it like
send
as
a
if
message. He should have cut him to send a message.
Yeah.
That could have been cool.
Well, Limehouse, he's like, okay, he wants to fuck with me, and Limehouse takes his butterfly knife and slices his wrist open hard way.
Yeah, hard cut.
Like the true way that you'd bleed out. So he gets rushed to the hospital.
Hard cut after that. He's slicing his arm, and then boom, he's like in a stretcher, and they're pushing him, and they're holding
they got him hooked up to blood.
Yeah.
So that's his way of getting into the hospital, this sadistic bastard. And he buzzes in the nurse to give him something because he can't sleep. So the male nurse is getting the shot ready, and Limehouse ambushes him and takes him, fucking gives him the sleeping shot, puts on the lab coat and dresses like the doctor or whatever. And that's when he goes into Aiko's room and does horrible things to her. And pretty much kills her. Now, after that, while this is going on too, the place is crawling with...
Yeah, it's supposed to be like really locked up tight with police. You
Yeah,
know,
you
at
got
this
the main
point.
detective asking,
And he's
like,
on his
what's
way there. He's on his way there. He's saying how like shit's like locked up real tight, all this, or his guys are saying that. So when he goes to Shane's room, he's about to give him a lethal injection of something, right?
and yeah,
So
and then
as this is going on, the main cop who's in charge of all the dudes at the police station or at the hospital is talking with the main lieutenant, and he's asking anything going on, blah 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 blah. No, I got it locked up tight, and then they end up calling like the one guy who's supposedly taking over the guard duties outside Shane's room. He's like, oh yeah, everything's good. I just let the doctor in to give him a shot, and then the lieutenant's like, he's like, stop that man, because so they open the door, and then right before he could give him that shot, they start their altercation with him.
yeah, and he takes out both cops, and he's on the run. And Limehouse is just taking cops left and right, and he ends up choking one from behind and steals his cop uniform and gets out. Meanwhile, the lieutenant's just like, no one gets in, no one gets out. But of course, Limehouse gets out. Then the call is made to Akira, who shows up with Kane, and the main lieutenant has to break the horrible news about his wife. And Akira's like, take me to see my wife. He's like, no, you don't want to see her like this. He's like, I don't care. Take me to see her. He goes, he sees her dead body.
He kind of makes a vow to her about
her that he's going to get revenge and go back to the shadows of the ninja. And while he's saying that, Kane listens on in. And he's like, oh, so my dad is a ninja. He then takes Shane out of the bed. And, the doctors, they're all trying to stop Akira from taking his son. He's like, we can't get, and, the main lieutenant's like, we can't guarantee you protection if you leave the hospital. He's like, protection? You call this protection? My wife is now dead. He almost got to my son. This is supposed to be the land of the free. And these criminals get to walk on without, where's the justice? And this shit hits so hard.
Yeah.
He fucking lays it into him.
He lays into him just about like the injustices of the justice system. How, criminals, pretty much just like how criminals and bad people are the only ones that can realistically walk free and do whatever the fuck they want. Like, they're the free ones. Meanwhile, the good people, are the ones that are dealing with all the pain of having their loved ones being hurt and murdered and everything like that, So this is a really good scene.
Yeah.
And
because Sho, it's so powerful too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like Akira, he lets the lieutenant know. He said, whatever you do not try to stop me. And, the lieutenant's like, Worm, don't take the law into your own hands. He's like, don't. It would be in your best interest not to stop me. And that's where he takes his two sons to that warehouse that Sam also owns. And that's like their hideout. And while he's doing that, he's doing the 9 prayers of a ninja, which they do before battle. And he breaks the seal of the beads and purifies himself with the water to pretty much go back to his ninja ways. And then we get the Back to the Shadows song
as he's forging own katana,
the katana with the iron. Dude, it's so sick.
Yeah, it's
and
a
while
very
he's
good
doing
scene.
that, like, Kane's getting his arsenals ready, like he's rigging his bike.
Yeah, he's
and
watching
shit.
his dad do it, but from the shadows, essentially. Like, he's watching his dad do it. Like,
it's great. It's such an awesome scene.
Yeah,
it is so dope. It's as almost as awesome as like Sho getting ready for the final confrontation in Revenge of the Ninja. It's kind of like that.
And this is essentially what we're leading up to now. There also comes a point in time where I don't remember if it happens before or after this. So we have this great scene of like you said, Sho going back to his ninja ways. I did not know that was the whole ritual that he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah.
So
it's the 9 prayers of the ninja.
And that's a common
common thing before they go into battle.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, good.
Just
Thank
like
you for that
when him and
explanation.
Braden are doing the hand signs and there's like
Yeah.
the Ritsu, Zen, all that. Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, all that shit.
Yeah, that's good to know. So yeah, that's all great. And then that kind of ends with him taking out the helmet.
Yes, the helmet that was given from his father, and he swears by the blade that he's gonna avenge his wife Aiko. And also the kid is getting better. Shane, you could see like he checks on him, and he's like awake now and doing okay. And right before he prepares for battle, Limehouse, there's a meeting going on with the cop.
This is where I was like, I don't know if it happens before or after.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it happens after.
It happens.
Yeah. The cop, he's meeting someone at a restaurant who's got a briefcase, and the cop gives the guy the Veneta necklace, and the guy slides over a briefcase filled with hundreds, and that's when Limehouse shows up. And, you know, he's like, hello, Joe, or whatever.
Nice knowing you.
Nice knowing you. And he fucking plugs them both with an Uzi or whatever. I think it's like the same kind of gun that like Kurt Russell uses in Big Trouble in Little China with that like extended magazine.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of gun it is.
And it's fucked up too, because after he plugs them both, there's like some girl, and she's like praying. She's like, oh, like, don't hurt me. He's like, don't worry, I'm not gonna hurt you. And he fucking plugs her too, because he's a sadistic bastard.
That's an uncut scene that didn't happen in my R-rated.
Okay, yeah,
so
yeah, he fucking...
It's probably worth saying also that there are 2 cuts to this movie. There's a uncut and an R-rated. There's a 3-minute difference, so I can only imagine that's just 3 additional scenes that weren't in mine.
All of the uncut scenes are put in this movie.
Okay.
And you can tell when they're uncut because the quality changes, almost like the first release of Silent Night, Deadly Night uncut.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of extra blood squibs and like slicing and dicing. They focus more on the violence in obviously this uncut version, because this is put out by MGM. And when they saw this, they were like, fuck no, dude, we can't release this like this. So, you know, they cut out a good amount of like, the violence.
I mean, that alone, man, that scene alone where, you know, he's, when he kills the pleading girl, from what you were saying, like, and actually does it, that just shows like even more about how ruthless and sadistic that he is. So,
yeah.
So that's an additional
what
scene
he
right
did to
there.
Ayako, the wife, wasn't enough. I mean, because he after he does what he does, he stabs the shit out of her with a scalpel, and they really.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
He's like fucking just.
No. In my version that I watched, he just goes into the room and then like covers her mouth, and then it like there's a cut, and then it goes back, and then you just see her laying there with her eyes open.
Yeah, he does unspeakable things and then stabs her to death with a scalpel.
Does he R-word with her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's why Sho, when he is saying that through his whole monologue with the lieutenant, that's why he says that, like, you know, doing that to her and everything. So I didn't see it, so I didn't know if he was just saying that as a whole of like what people do, but okay. So there you go. That's an additional scene. So there's an extended, I guess it's an extended scene of her murder, as well as the added scene of the praying girl who gets killed in the diner or whatever it is. All right. So then there's probably like one more scene.
Yeah. Okay. So after that, we are now at the big boss's house.
The final finale. But also, there's one cop out of the 2 that survives, and he's at this, you know, little rendezvous with the boss and all the henchmen. At his house, you're talking about,
at his
right?
house.
Okay, I don't know if I'm missing anything now.
The cop says, hey, you know, Sam Green also, because they can't find Akira or the boys. And he's like, well, I've heard from a couple of hookers that Sam Green also owns a warehouse down by the dock. This is where it is. So they send some people over.
Some hookers. So that means Sam Green was fucking around with hookers? I guess so.
You know, he was in a bad neighborhood, so I don't know. Who's to say? Maybe they just, you know, work in the corners just knew, like, oh, yeah, that's Sam Green. He's also got A warehouse down by the dock.
You know, I don't want to think that this nice old man was fucking hookers. I want to just think that. I
don't want to either.
I just want to think that he was a real nice guy.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Maybe just, you know, how you doing, girls? You know, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they saw him going doing his thing. So
for sure,
we'll go with that. All right.
Yeah. So the big boss sends some people out there, and that's where Kane is guarding his brother.
Oh, yup. And now he's putting one of the tools to use that we had seen him building.
Yeah.
While his father was performing the ritual.
Yeah. So we'll talk about Kane's moment here, where he's got his bike rigged with these like smoke bombs that disorient the henchmen trying to drive after him, and he's also so they get out the car because they crash it, and he takes a blow dart gun to one of their legs, and then we get Kane showcasing his excellent nunchuck skills.
Yeah.
Where's yours, brother? There you go.
Got him right here.
Yeah. So Kane, he beats some ass with the
can't
nunchucks.
Okay, you gotta go look at
There
him
you
now.
go.
There
you go. Kane fucks some henchmen up with the fucking nunchucks, takes them out, and then we get to Akira, who shows up all in his armor. Again, he's looking like the Shredder.
Oh,
actually,
yeah, I'm gonna throw him in for sure.
If you hold on, let's see how it looks on here. I have in this nice write-up booklet. Hold on, so we get another more clear image.
There you go. He looks even more like the Shredder in that in the artwork than he does realistically. Yeah, that's so cool.
So he's all armored out. He's got
the face shield goes forward and back, so
yeah,
you know, he can cover his face with it, and he also has a what is a shuriken in the
shuriken.
fucking,
Yep, yeah, Ninja Star Shuriken right at the top.
Yeah,
which that comes into play later.
Yes, it does. Very cleverly.
Yeah. So he's ready to do battle. He's at the big boss's house. All the henchmen are there guarding the place, and he fucking hops over the gate and slices both of their throats open with his katana that he has freshly forged. And he is just on the hunt. He is fucking slicing and dicing, taking motherfuckers
That's
out.
the shit I like to see.
That's the shit I like to see, brother. Slicing and dicing. Got his fucking arrow. He's shooting motherfuckers in the throat.
Yeah.
It shows you it all. It shows every impalement, slice.
Yeah. He's like, when he first gets to the backyard, he like throws the katana into the ground and then pulls out the fucking bow and arrow and then picks his like one or two dudes off. But yeah, dude, the whole scene at this house, like the whole final showdown before he makes it to the big boss, is fucking awesome, dude.
Oh, it's
and
so
like
good.
that's not even the best part of it all either, because Mr. Limehouse is still there.
Yeah, he's there.
But he's got to get the fuck out.
Yeah, he's like, don't worry, the boys will take care of it. Because they kind of see out the big bay windows that like shows
something's coming. He's coming.
Akira's just flipping around, fucking, again, just decimating motherfuckers. And, you know, some of them are taking shots, and it's just deflecting off the armor, except for one shot gets Akira in the leg, where he doesn't have the armor. So he gets a little wound there, but he takes him out with a ninja star, and he makes his way inside where he's like getting to more of the henchmen. And at one point, at this point, Limehouse, he grabs the briefcase of money, he grabs some cigars, and he's like, fuck this, I'm out. Tries to get himself into a truck. While that's going on, one of the bad cops tries to tell Akira to freeze. And that's where Akira reaches into his ninja kimono or whatever and throws out these multiple spikes.
Yeah, what are those? Have you ever seen those before?
There's no specific name for them. They're just like these throwing spikes.
Yeah, he uses them 2 times. He uses
those, and then he sees the big boss, and he takes out a windmill like shuriken.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
And he throws that, and when he does, it pins the big boss in the throat to the door, which in the booklet of the
there you go. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can
And
find the clip to throw in.
So in the R-rated version, it just shows that part. But in the uncut, they open the door and you could see how the spikes impaled through, coming out the backside of his throat.
Nope. So I did not see that. I'm gonna have to buy this from Arrow.
Yeah, there's still copies available.
Oh, I'll buy it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So Akira sees that Limehouse is making a getaway. He does some flips over and, ends up in front of the truck. Limehouse sees this, tries to run over Akira, but he does a front flip over the whole truck. And then they end up somewhere where there's like a wood, like, I don't know, there's like a big
some kind of mill.
Factory,
It's
mill,
like a wood mill. But
Yeah.
prior to that, though, like the whole scene with the truck is really cool because Sho is under the truck for a while.
Yes.
Like you can see the drive shaft of the truck spinning right in front of his face and everything like that. Like it's a really good scene, and it seems like they were probably driving for a few hours wherever the hell they were going because it goes from night to day. So they're on like a highway road, and then Sho decides that he's going to finally make his move, and he opens the door to Mr. Limehouse in the truck, and they're fighting a little bit. Limehouse kicks him off, and then Sho fucking, runs and chases the truck, and then this is when we end up at like the wood mill or wherever we are. And it's like a wood mill, not a windmill. It sounded like I said windmill. Wood mill, but also there's like rooms. It might be some kind of storage yard with some other bullshit because we're also in a room for a little bit where there's like these display mannequins.
Yo, so real quick, when we were watching that, I turned to Chris and I said, tourist trap.
Yeah, there you go.
Tourist trap, straight up. This movie becomes tourist trap for that whole scene. But yeah, they're battling it out, and Limehouse, he has this like sickle-like weapon, and Sho's using all of his ninja tools, and he like cuts.
They're doing a little cat and mouse in that room for a while, Limehouse kind of using some of the mannequins to his advantage to throw Sho off, so he'll like throw him out to him and everything. He'll think that there's him, so he's like cutting heads off of slicing those things, thinking that they might be him, whatever. And then ultimately they end up kind of like face to face in this wood mill area where there's like this table saw and everything.
The whole cat and mouse chase in the mannequin is, in my opinion, a callback to when Bruce Lee fought the main boss with the interchangeable hand with the claws in the Hall of Mirrors. To me, that was like a callback scene to that. Whereas the enemy disguises himself within, like Limehouse does. And it's the same thing in Enter the Dragon.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Or it's just like or it's just a trope. It's just kind of like
I like to think it's kind of like a little homage to Enter the Dragon.
Yeah,
with that scene.
We'll go with that. They're callbacks. They're not tropes.
Yeah, paying homage. But so they end up at a final confrontation by the sawmill, and Limehouse now has a chainsaw, and he's wearing a sweater. So this gives me major Last House on the Left vibes with the dad, and he's dueling with the chainsaw, and fucking, it's craziness. It's absolute craziness. Because at one point too, Limehouse breaks a piece of like wood, and where Akira got shot in the leg, he jams a piece of this wood in the same thing and starts really fucking
opening old wounds now.
And at one point too, when they're fighting, because Akira breaks off and splinters off a piece of that wood stuck in his leg, Limehouse digs into it again to get free from Akira, who's got him wrapped with the nunchucks with the blades at the end. Yeah, it's great. And that is how Limehouse gets the jump on Akira and holds him in front of the table, or the big ass saw.
Yeah, the table saw. Yeah, and it's got a big ass fucking chunk of wood on it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, he tries to hold his head to it, but Akira gets free and then gets the upper hand.
Well, how does he get free, Steven?
Well, he uses the shuriken on his helmet, takes it off and chucks it at the switch to stop the table saw. Thank you for fucking, because I would have accidentally brushed over
And he kind of like uses the shine and the gleam to kind of blind.
Yes, which is an
Limehouse for a
old
little
ninja
bit.
trick, the
Yeah,
same that he uses against Braden
Yeah.
during their
Yup.
final confrontation
Yeah,
and
couldn't
Revenge
let
of
you
the
forget
Ninja.
it, man. You know.
Thank you, brother, because I would have glossed over that. Admittedly,
We're in the final moments of it. It's
Yeah.
okay, man. We've been
Yeah.
talking for over an hour, but I thought that was a really great scene because the way that he throws it, it doesn't just hit the button; it wedges itself like into the button underneath it because he goes back to use it again.
Yeah. He goes back to use it. He pulls it out, which starts the sawmill back up, and this is where he takes Limehouse, and he takes the nunchucks with the spikes, and pins his hands onto the piece of wood that's lined up to be sawed in half, and then takes a dagger and sticks it in the back of his thighs. So Limehouse is now stuck to this piece of wood, and it's great because at this point Limehouse is like, kill me, please kill me, kill
Pleading
me.
with him to kill him.
Pleading.
Have mercy on him.
Dare I say, he's praying for death, as what Akira said he would do.
Exactly, he is.
He is praying for death.
Yep.
And he lets
Good way to sum that up.
He lets that saw go, and it splits Limehouse in half. And then we then forward to maybe what I'd say is the next day, where you have Akira and his two boys in their funeral clothes by the mom's grave. And, Shane is just like, are we going to go back to Japan now, Dad? And, Akira's like, no, your mother wanted to be here in America. She wanted you boys raised here in America. Plus, we'll always be close to her if we stay here, which is really sad because then he starts to tear up.
Yeah. Just a sad moment, man. That's the thing, like in these movies is like, you never want anything bad to happen to these family members, but it's essential to the
It's
story.
the driving force.
It's the driving force.
Yeah.
So it wasn't enough that, they were, harmed that caused him to kind of go back into the shadows, as we have said. But unfortunately, it was, the death and everything of his wife, which really forced him to do it. So it sucks, but he's got his boys. It is what it is. They're gonna live their life, and it doesn't just end there though, because as they're leaving the cemetery, they're approached by the head lieutenant, who has a conversation with Sho.
Yeah, where he says like pretty much Limehouse and the main boss and all of his men have been killed, and he's like, well, this is convenient for us cops because gang style killings have to not much to investigate. But he's like, there were rumblings of some kind of assassin in as he says, an Oriental like get up in armor.
Yeah, does he make mention and say the word ninja at all?
Yeah, well, he said some say even a ninja, and he's like, Mr. Saito, do ninjas even existed during this era? And that's where Akira's like, ninjas? No, are you crazy? And then Kane, to back his dad up, is like, I think this guy's been watching too many ninja movies. And the lieutenant's like, yeah, you're probably right. And he's like, but before I go, and he reveals,
he's like, if you ever do see him, he's like, tell him don't come around again, and kind of like winks and gives him the shuriken.
Yep. Yeah. And he's like, I know it was you.
As a nod, I know.
As a nod, your secret's safe with me, but don't let it happen again.
Yeah.
And
Fair
then the
enough.
movie ends, and it's back to the shadow fucking theme.
Yep.
And that is Pray for Death.
Yeah. I was going to go off earlier on and talk about it, man. And I texted you last night and I told you, great pick, man. This was a great movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I love a good Sho Kosugi flick, and I love a Sho Kosugi where he is the hero.
Yeah.
And we get this fully with him in it. And, I liked Revenge of the Ninja a lot. I'll go back to that, because this is, that's our volume 1. I like this one more. Out of the 3 that we've done, this has been my favorite Sho Kosugi so far.
Awesome.
I like him, the most in it. Yeah.
Hell
for
yeah.
sure. I will say though that, as a little comparison, Braden, I think, is definitely so far the ultimate villain of Sho in these flicks. This isn't part of that Ninja trilogy though, right?
No, it is not part of the canon Ninja trilogy. That is Enter the Ninja, Revenge of the Ninja, and Ninja 3: The Domination.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, I wasn't sure, but I didn't think so. But this was just so happened to be another Sho Kosugi flick. But yeah, dude, great pick, man. Really good movie.
Yeah, it's a great one. I enjoy it every time I revisit it for Ninja November. Revenge of the Ninja will always be my number one. You know, that was the first ninja film I had ever seen, and it's a special place in my heart. Plus, again, Brayden is the ultimate bad guy. The ninja confrontation against, Brayden, like the whole only a ninja could stop a ninja on top of the fucking building.
Yeah,
It's just
I mean
iconic.
that's what it says right here.
And the
Only
score,
a ninja
exactly.
can stop a ninja right here.
Yeah.
So this is our Revenge of the Ninja, Ninja November drop. We have one more design just to let you know, and as a little Easter egg, I have worn this. We've had this print for a while, so I wore this on a couple previous episodes, but I don't think anybody ever
it's
noticed.
It's time we drop it.
Yeah, this was the first design that I ever had done. To be honest with you, because we were going to try to do it.
How it came out, man.
Yeah, we were going to try to have it out and everything, and it's just I didn't really know what I was doing at that point, but all better late than never. So only a ninja can stop a ninja. Yeah, no, I love that. And are you going to be watching Revenge of the Ninja tonight?
Yes,
Or what are you watching? What's on
maybe
what's
tonight.
on your watch list?
Let's see. Between all the Godfrey Ho ninja films on Tubi, I got to get to some of those. I'm definitely going to watch the Ninja Scroll movie, which is a violent anime from the early 90s. Because Kristen also enjoys anime, so we want to watch Ninja Scroll. But I need to show her Revenge of the Ninja. She enjoyed this movie a lot, except for obviously like what happens with Aiko really disturbed her. So during the second watch, I of course fast forwarded through that.
Good man.
Of course, man.
Let me ask you, man. So for those listening who want to participate in Ninja November, do you have like 3 good recommendations? Obviously,
sure.
Obviously, Revenge of the Ninja, Enter the Ninja, 2 very good ones. This one as well, Pray for Death is a great one. What else you got? You got any recommendations?
Mirai Ninja or Cyber Ninja, which remember I picked up from Video Daikaiju.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had like almost like a Power Ranger vibe to it. Yeah.
Is that the one that I have too? No, that was more the RoboCop one.
Yeah, that was the lady
It was a robot. Yeah, that fucking movie's awesome. Not a ninja movie, but it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, no. Mirai Ninja, aka Cyber Ninja. The Lone Wolf
can
and Cub
stream
series.
that or anything? Do you know?
That I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see. Obviously New York Ninja.
Yup. Vinegar Syndrome.
Yep, Vinegar
You could
Syndrome.
probably
New York
stream
Ninja.
that on Tubi.
Also, you could check out Robot Ninja, directed by J.R. Bookwalter, who did, The Dead Next Door and a bunch of other great 16mm splatter flicks. That movie's got tons of gore in it, too. That ninja looks like Lord Zed from Power Rangers meets Shredder. It's fucking awesome. So
I'm going to see if
maybe
I could find that tonight. I
think Robot Ninja's available to stream.
It
might be on Tubi.
That was also at one of the movies at VHS Fest this year.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we didn't go, but yeah, J.R. Bookwalter was actually there as a guest, so they played some of his flicks, which is pretty cool. So
yeah, I've got that release and poster signed by J.R. Bookwalter. Trying to think of, obviously I mentioned the Ninja Scroll. Commando Ninja is a good one. Yeah, so those are just some to throw out there. Lone Wolf and Cub series.
I'm gonna definitely be watching that J.R. Bookwalter, so I'll get some more.
Definitely check out Robot Ninja.
I'll get some more recommendations from you for sure.
On the time of recording this, it is the 70th anniversary of the King of the Kaijus, Godzilla. Last night, after watching Pray for Death, we also watched the original Godzilla.
Great one.
Out of my Criterion collection. Fucking. God,
you have the big Criterion, like I do, right?
I do.
Yeah,
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah,
I have that. I've got
70
a DVD.
years. Shit.
Yep, I got the DVD box set of the Heisei and Millennium Era Godzillas.
Those are good scores. I had seen somebody when you had made those posts saying that Godzilla vs. Biollante is a holy grail of theirs. So that's a really cool one. That's a hard one to find.
Well, admittedly, my Godzilla vs. Biollante is a bootleg rip off of the Miramax Blu-ray that is long out of print and over $100.
Okay.
But it still looks crisp. And that Godzilla vs. Biollante and Godzilla 84 are not in that Heisei era / Millennium Era box set. So I have those standalone.
And you actually just grabbed the Godzilla -1 Japanese special edition. Phenomenal set. I
think it's actually a UK release, this one.
Oh, okay. Mine is a Japanese release that came directly from Godzilla Toho. Yeah.
I think it's like got the
super
same
cool.
features though. I screenshotted you.
Yeah. No, it's all the same shit. I compared them. I did a little side by side for you. So
yeah, I had to pull the trigger on that. Well, Diabolic still had it in stock, and today being the 70th anniversary. Also, yesterday being November 2nd, it was also National Deadly Prey Day. For those that celebrate Deadly Prey, which is a First Blood / Rambo / Commando ripoff that is just insanely over the top. I managed to fit that in. VCR of Death, check out that Instagram page. He celebrates Deadly Prey Day every November 2nd. That one is one I'd love to cover on the show sometime.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Also, like, before we wrap up talking about the King of the Kaiju, Waxwork Records also just did a release of the Godzilla soundtrack.
Yeah, the original score.
Which
Kristen's kind of like, you're going to get that? That's going to sell out.
Kind of.
And I'm like, I just dropped on the box set.
I know. I might end up getting it, man.
It looks sick.
The cover art is fucking great on it too. And we just got an announcement of a sequel to Godzilla -1.
Yep, today.
So with all the players, man, all the original players. So
it's great. It's great news. As Godzilla, as Kaiju fans, we are fucking thriving right now.
Yeah, man. I love to see it. So, but yeah, man. So Ninja November, all November long.
All November long.
A great conversation, my brother.
Absolutely.
Any final thoughts for Pray for Death?
Really, it's just one of those, if you're a fan of ninja films, especially the 80s ninja boom, and you're a fan of Sho Kosugi, Pray for Death is a must-watch. Seek out the Arrow video copy that has the uncut footage. Yeah, and this movie is fucking violent as shit. It's a must-watch. I mean,
even more violent in the unrated as it seems. It just shows, based off of what you're saying, just how more of a fucked up ruthless villain that Mr. Limehouse actually is, because the version that I had seen was the rated R version, which is streaming on Tubi, and the scenes that Steven had said, I don't know if I'm gonna include them because they're just like way too fucking violent.
I don't want to get flagged.
Maybe some of them, but not all of them. Because I always love, I love when there's an unrated and a rated. We could give the comparison.
I live for that shit.
Yeah, I just wish that I could have seen it, but no, it was a nice little surprise when you had brought those up when they can stand out. And I also wanted to say though, like you say how like it's a noticeable change in the print. So I guess they probably were only able to obtain those from like a print element that was already done, not like from a camera negative or whatever, just some fucking print that's been, shopping around the United States and the world, whatever. But yeah, I agree with you, man. If you're a Sho Kosugi fan, this is definitely a must watch. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This has been my favorite Sho Kosugi character out of the last 3 that we've watched. Definitely a pretty violent one. Great villain, great fight choreography, I must say, between Sho Kosugi as well as Kane, and absolutely. I'm a big fan of Kane. Yeah. So I think he's a badass little kid.
In time, we will visit some Kane.
Yeah, please.
Ninja films.
Yeah, let's do that. I mean, there's there's no stopping Ninja November, bro.
No.
You know.
No.
Real quick, has his brother ever went on to do anything? Do you know of? Or
He might have. I haven't really looked into his film catalog.
Nah,
just
well-
more or less Kane Kasugi's catalog.
we'll have answers to that in Ninja November Volume 3, and maybe we'll even be
Volume
able to
4.
Volume 4, my bad. And maybe we'll even be able to do a double feature. Who knows?
Yeah.
Only time will tell.
So real quick, brother.
Yeah.
Our initial thoughts are the same, but what's your rating on this?
My rating on this. I kind of wish that I went back to look at my rating for the other two, because I don't want to rate this too low and say that it's my favorite show. In the world of, the Ninja November flicks, I think, I go off and I rate them a little bit differently than I do all the other flicks, because this is kind of a month dedicated to only ninja flicks, so they're in a world of their own. I feel in our Dead with My Friends world. I give it a 7.5 out of 10, man. Rate it pretty high. It's a really good flick, man. It was a very fun one. Great pacing, great story. Really pulls on your heartstrings, man.
Oh yeah,
for sure. And
Cuts
I just and I really love just how, deep and symbolic, the ninja ways go, because when he said that you got to let go of your past and, not live in the shadows and everything anymore, like, I could relate to that, man, because we're all dealing with shit,
Yeah.
We're all we all have hardships and things from our past, and, we're always just trying to get past them and not live there. So, I always really like the, what's the word, the wisdom that you get from these movies as well, and how they also do circle back in the end as well, right?
Yeah.
Like how the title goes, Pray for Death, and he makes a mention of it at a point midway through the movie, and then at the end he made sure to make the man who caused him all this pain pray for death. So
Exactly.
yeah, awesome. 7.5 out of 10, brother.
For me, 8 out of 10.
Nice.
I love this
Close.
one. I fucking revisit it every Ninja November, and don't get me wrong, like, I will be like peppering in some Thanksgiving themed slashers, like on top of picking up the Godzilla -1 box set from Diabolic. I also got the Thanksgiving Steelbook Eli
bought
Roth
it too.
Thanksgiving.
I bought
And
it too.
I also got the Your Next Second Sight box set, as well as the Hitcher, of course. But for some reason,
And you have Trick or Treat coming.
I have Trick or Treat coming.
I just got mine, and you're not going to be able to see it. I got the Devon one, the Devon cover.
It's kind of hard to see.
Yeah. Can you
But,
see it? Maybe a little bit. I got to
going
get
back
this
to-
screen thing. Yeah, but I got
Going
the Devon.
back to Your Next,
Yeah.
that movie, it doesn't take place on Thanksgiving. It's actually like an anniversary dinner, but you could tell it's like cooler late fall weather. And to me, it's just like the whole family gathering and the big dinner. It gives me a Thanksgiving vibe. I feel like maybe I saw it around Thanksgiving, and that's why I relate it so much.
Maybe it
but-
came out around November.
I don't remember, but I could say this. I'm happy I picked up that Second Sight box set while it was still in stock at Orbit DVD. I can't wait to give that a watch on the new TV, as well as Madman and fucking Blood Rage. It's my watch list is curated for this month.
Yeah, well, with October, coming and going, we make the most out of it. We watch all of these flicks, but then going into, the later months of the year, the November, December, I have movies that I really enjoy, around these times as well. Obviously, a slasher killer flick, would be Madman. But I also kind of like steer away from the horror movies more so around this time, and I dedicate them more towards like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and then I'll bridge that gap.
Yeah, good cozy flicks.
Yeah, I bridge that gap with Star Wars going into December, and then December is a lot of Harry Potter, bro.
For me, it's a good balance of Christmas classics,
And then I get into the Christmas classics.
as
yeah.
well as the Rankin Bass claymation mixed with Christmas horror.
Right. Yeah. That's how my December usually goes too. We got to figure out our December episode because I don't even know what the fuck we're doing.
know.
So when we
We'll
wrap
talk
up,
about
we'll,
that.
we'll talk. You'll unmask and Yeah. But dude,
Yeah.
overall, man, I want to say I really appreciate that dedication. Next year, volume 4, I think I'm
Prepare
also
for the return.
prepare for the return, because it's I'm gonna commit like you did, because you texted
Yeah.
me, you're like, hey, yeah, when you hop on, just real quick, I want to know if I should go along with this. And I really wish that I had gotten my initial reaction when we had come on. So I wish
Yeah.
you kind of would have prepared me, because that would have been really good to throw in the episode. But yeah, dude, great dedication, man. Look good.
Man. I owe it all to Grindhouse Cellar. Again, check out at Grindhouse Cellar on Instagram. There would be no Ninja November episodes if it wasn't for him. So thanks to him, and check out what he's watching. And he is always reposting what other people are watching when they participate for Ninja November.
Hell yeah. So, brother, with all that being said, I think it's time to take us out, and I think it's time to wrap up Ninja November Volume 4. Or
Yeah.
rather, Volume 3. I'm getting ahead of myself. I got the 4 stuck in my head. So, I think it's time to wrap up Volume 3.
Yeah. With that being said, that is a wrap on Ninja November Volume 3. We hope you enjoyed and helped celebrate Ninja November with us. Look forward to Ninja November Volume 4 next November. The best way you could support the show is following us at Dead With My Friends Podcast on Instagram. Subscribe to us on YouTube. If you want to stay up to date with us, be sure to visit www.deadwithmyfriendspodcast.com, where you can find the latest updates on the show, merch drops, new episodes, etc. With that being said, I'm Steve,
And I'm Nick.
and we'll see you in the next dimension.
Peace.